The second issue is the voice of the Cuban people being included in the talks, in the dialogues. Why is it absent? If they have so much to say, not only are they absent, but they are censored, repressed. When the ladies in white or other oppositionists inside Cuba or other citizens of conscience want to say something in Cuba, their voice is censored. They get beat up. The ladies in white get beat up in front of the churches, the same churches that belong to the same religion of which the Pope is the main person, is the chief. I can't be. We cannot just turn our back on just to gain access to the Cuban government and turn our back to the Cuban people, especially the Cuban women that are being beat up. That is something that no one on earth would tolerate for no reason. Why is that happening and nobody is saying anything? So in this second point of giving the civil society voice in the dialogues, we ask that the Pope looks into the beating of the ladies in white and other members of society in Cuba. I will do this fast of conscience without any food, and if God permits, weather and we're able to resolve some logistical issues, next Sunday, our vessel Democracia and other vessels, maybe one, maybe two, will depart from Marathon to near Havana with the lights of freedom, to project the lights of freedom in Cuba to welcome the Pope, but at the same time letting the lights be sort of a message to the Pope saying, we want to talk, we have something to say, please listen to us, and then bring to him these two issues which he already knows, and I'll explain why. It will be Sunday. We'll be in front of Cuba at night, between 8 and 9 at night. We will display the fireworks if the logistics allows us and if the weather allows us. We're working very hard on that. Okay? I will travel in in the fast of conscience. I will travel aboard the vessel to near Cuba. Let me say to you that the President of the United States, Barack Obama, has increased the presidential proclamation utilized against the democracy movement, and now it covers the whole United States. Has increased it from 166 feet to 388 feet. So there are new elements around presidential proclamation for us to depart and go over there. And we'll see how that works. We're in contact with the Coast Guard. We have a meeting pending with them, but that will be an issue that we need to see how the government will approach it. But I will get on the boat and we will go over there. It will not be a flotilla per se. It will be a maritime activity, but we still call Flotilla Luces de Libertad, because that's how it has been known all over the world. Every time we do these activities, it will project the lights. We don't want many vessels. The vessel will have a large white flag so that they know we come in peace. And I wish that we could go in there peacefully and land there and participate with other Cubans in the mass that the Pope is going to offer, and be together with the people of the democracy movement and other movement and the rest of the people that are going to be wanting to be present there, because the government has already been repressing the opposition in Cuba so that they do not attend the mass. I just talked to Jose Diaz Silva. We're going to have him in a few minutes from Cuba. He's the delegate of the Democracy Movement Cuba. They're getting ready to be present, and they have already been advised, don't go. Don't go. Like, you know, you're not a people, you're not a person, you don't have rights. Don't go. I wonder if the Pope knows that, and I wonder if the Pope agrees with it. I don't think so. And somebody has to say it. If I could put a bag in my head so nobody knows who is doing the hunger strike or the fast, I would do so. Because what's important is the voice of the Cuban people in the island. When we come back, still a hunger strike. Hopefully we come back, still a hunger strike. Then we will determine whether we go to Washington, where the president is meeting the Pope, or we wait until Raúl Castro, the president, and the Pope meet in the United Nations. And right now we're seeking for a boat, a large boat, to see if we can be behind the United Nations in the boat. We did this a long time ago. Many years ago, we did a flotilla in the Hudson River, believe it or not. Castro spoke before the United Nations, and he addressed the issue that the flotilla was there in his discourse. Okay? So we just want to continue and persevere, which is the secret of this movement. We don't have anything. We're poor people, as you can see. Nothing luxurious here or in our lives. We're all working people. But perseverance and love for our homeland makes us continue trying to do things. Okay? I stress the fact that we will be speaking, trying for this to be inclusive and not trying not to attack anybody like traditionally you do when you do things like that. We don't want to do that. We want to stimulate goodwill. We are trying to talk to other members of the church. We wrote a letter to the Pope 2 months ago, which we showed to you in a press conference right here. You probably remember. The letter was delivered to the Pope in his hands directly, and on the 6th of May, it was delivered in his hand by a friend of his that was kind enough to do that for the Cuban people. And it's a long letter. It had to be. I have to explain many things, but we have not received any reaction from the church, any message from the Pope as of yet. So we waited until the last minute to see if that answer would come, and we haven't seen it anywhere. In fact, other people have written letters. There are 4 more letters written by the opposition to the Pope, written by the opposition to the Pope, and there hasn't been any answer. And there hasn't been any indication on the side of the Pope that he will meet with the civil society in Cuba, although he will meet with Cuba's military lifelong chief of state, Fidel Castro. So these are more or less the things that we want to do. I will probably explain something more in English at the end. Let me make the Spanish presentation.